these Jordan shoes,
Yeah.
Yeezy shoes are very, very popular.
Yeah.
And they go for like, 30,000, 40,000 and all that. And I got to know a few months back that you can actually buy all of it for 300 rupees, 400 rupees on Meesho. How do you deal with this perception problem? Like,
Yeah.
many people think if you're buying anything on Meesho,
Yeah.
it's probably fake. And when I look at the prices of such premium products,
Yeah.
the photos looked actually legit, by the way. I went ahead just to try out how's the description, everything. I am a different user. I'm probably not the target user also.
Yeah.
First of all, why would you allow
Yeah.
such products? I
Yeah.
think there is some user inside there.
Yeah.
Second, does it not affect the brand image
Yeah.
long term?
Yeah, I think so. From a fake perspective, I think we've made a lot of progress, I would say. I think our ability to track, identify fakes yeah, is a lot better now. Right. So many of these things are maybe leakages or things that have happened not by intention. We're also marketplace, so any seller can come register themselves and start listing products. Some of the systems have to then identify that, okay, is this person selling the right kind of products? I think now you'll find a lot less of such cases.
Okay.
So I'll maybe split the two things. One is a quality thing and one is a fake thing. So on the fake side, we have now very strong policies around what is allowed on the platform, which includes any type of brand infringement, any type of trademark usages, etc. We've delisted a lot of products from the platform which were maybe not catering to this, and it goes back to the core philosophy that because anyone can list, it's a pure play open-ended marketplace that any seller is sort of enabled, and it's part of our mission that
Yeah.
if there is an entrepreneur anywhere in the country who wants to start selling online as a way to grow his or her business, Meesho should facilitate that. But then you always have certain type of people who are trying to sell these things, which are legally not allowed, and therefore we have to kind of make sure that they're stopped. So I would say the fake problem we've done now a decent job, and we continue to get better at it. So we've invested a lot in this technology to identify these things upfront, stop them from ever being listed on the platform. In case they do fall through the cracks, identifying them more proactively. There are teams that sit and find these things and then flag them off, and then we kind of keep delisting them from the platform. And we also make sure that those sellers are then made aware and they can't list further products in those categories. On the quality side, which is more to do that, hey, when you're selling such a wide array of selection, you'll have a lot of variation in quality. We're trying to make sure that we do a better job of communicating to users that, hey, this is the quality of the product that you're buying. There are multiple ways that users do that. One is user generated content, your ratings, your reviews on the platform. We've become very, very transparent and making sure that our users understand it's more prominent on the app. It's also more summarized, right? So we will see that we're saying, okay, fabric material, is it okay? Is it good? Is it bad? How many people have rated it good? How many people have rated it bad? Similarly, durability. So we made a lot of progress in this area. Again, it's an evolving field. I think there's still, we see a lot of potential in keeping to do this, especially because we're catering to a very diverse selection, and therefore as our customer base also gets more diversified, and it's also a very new customer base. These people are maybe shopping online for
For the first time.
for the first time. So customer education also becomes very tricky because these people are not always that savvy. They've not maybe been used to looking at ratings, reviews as frequently. So a lot of insight there will go into, and a lot of work will go into making sure that we shape this demand, give them the complete and transparent information that they need to make an informed buying decision. And beyond that, if somebody wants, let's say, a much more cheaper product, because it suits their needs, it suits their pocket, it suits what they use on it, that is obviously like our job to make sure that we do a good job of expectation setting so that they know what they're buying. So that's kind of been our sort of approach around quality, which has worked well for us, and that's sort of the fake product mission.
How is Meesho trying to ensure that the quality of products on the platform is good, and to go away from the perception that it's the platform for fake products?
Yeah. So I think There are a couple of things. I think one is that as a platform, sort of what is your duty, right? So again, the fake problem would be, hey, anything which is fake, which is by definition not part of the allowed as part of the legal system, you should just block. You should
Okay.
not even sell that. So that is one whole work stream where you have systems and processes that identify these fakes. Most of them are weeded out right at the time of them trying to be listed on the platform by sellers, so they don't even see any demand. Some of them, in the event that they do pass through, because maybe supplier did something else, or they changed around, or there may be a fake actor or an abusive supplier who's trying to game the system, you catch them later on. On the quality side, I think the main insight there would be that you have to be as transparent and as honest as possible with the seller and with the user. So, what your job is to make sure that there is no mismatch in terms of what the user can expect, and you're trying to continuously make this baseline as user needs possible, like as efficient as possible, right? So you're trying to give as much information in the least, most concise way possible, but giving it as true to the form of the product. Now, there are a lot of ways you can get this, right? You can get this from seller directly, that, hey, what is the quality of the material? What is the fabric? You can have those attributes at the time of listing. What kind of silk is it? What kind of material is it? You can also use a lot of user generated content. So the first 5, 7, 10 reviews that you get, how has the user experience been? Are they returning a lot more products? Are they using the products? Um, are they giving bad reviews that, hey, this is not working, or it's torn, or it's something like that? So a lot of those inputs go into how do we decide the quality of the product, and whether we even allow it to like get a lot of visibility, right? Because again, not a lot of your users are able to make that understanding. So some bars we have to make sure that, hey, you can't, you have to have certain good quality products, right?
Yeah.
So we made sure that a lot of good quality selection starts growing on the platform. A lot of bad quality selection that was harming users and that was just not up to the mark is either corrected, right? So in the event that some seller input is missing, for example, size chart. Now that's not a, it's not a quality problem that we think about it, but it leads to quality detraction on the platform.
Yes.
So how do you make sure that those inputs are captured? And for these categories like apparel, you make them mandatory. Similarly, you can make other features mandatory, like the material, the durability, right? Like you can't make that mandatory, but you'll get it from the user reviews that, hey, are users saying that it is something that will last for a longer time frame? So those systems you will build, and you'll keep feeding that information back to your demand, so that your users have as much information as they want, and they're able to make these educated sort of decisions. So that's sort of the way that we're kind of trying to make sure that these features are scaled.
And what does it, because India is a growing startup ecosystem, and with the IPO of companies like Zomato, Swiggy, even Blackbuck recently, I think there is a lot more positivity about whether ESOPs matter or not. So, can you also briefly talk about
Yeah.
whether ESOPs are useful, whether these candidates should think about it,
Yeah.
and how does it differ in terms of overall percent of compensation at early stage versus
Late stage,
for a senior role, like a PM or senior PM role versus a GPM or director of product role?
So yes, ESOPs I think have definitely gotten better from where we were, let's say 4 or 5 years back, because of all the exits.
Yeah.
I think if I go back 3 years, most people used to say, "Mera base kitna hai," which is your cash component, and they would say, "Hey, I'm just getting cash, so I'm fine with it." And ESOPs is some
Paper
like,
money.
something on top which we don't know about for the next 10, 15 years, so it's never really factored in. What has at least started to happen is wherever PMF is hit, which is Series C and above at least, companies have also started to tell potential candidates that, hey, this is your ESOP value, and it has started to become a little bit of a reality. So my suggestion to most candidates is, for early stage companies, you can get a lot of ESOPs, but you should join it because you believe in the mission and you believe in the entrepreneur, right? So the person you're betting on is like literally the lead of the organization, and if you believe in his vision and if you believe in his capability to lead that vision, then it's a great thing to join. You can't expect an exit very soon. So this is like something that may take 5, 7, 10 years, and you just have to be okay with it.
Yeah.
For mid to late stage companies is when you can start thinking about, hey, is this really going to make an exit? The trickiest part becomes if you're currently working in, let's say, a public company where all of the stock component that you have is also in some sense cash because you can sell it the next day that you get it. And you're transitioning to a private market where they will give you some sort of ESOPs. And it becomes very subjective. Most candidates will have to end up thinking about it on their own terms. So I've seen people who say, okay, if I'm getting RSUs of, let's say, 5 lakhs, I want ESOPs of at least 10 lakhs. So mathematically, they've come to a 50% number.
Okay.
Some people do it, hey, I want my cash comp to meet my cash comp and I want some additional ESOPs. So people have sort of internalized some of these benchmarks and there's no standard rule to it right now. And I don't think there will be. I don't think it's there in like Silicon Valley also. I think public to private, private to public is always a hard.
Yeah.
Having said that, I think at least what I have realized working both in public and private companies is your true wealth as an employee only gets generated when the company really succeeds and you joined it early enough. So you can keep working in a larger scale organization. It'll be stable. It'll give you growth and it'll give you good outcomes. But if you're looking for really outsized outcomes, then you need there's a little bit of a lady luck sort of situation. If you're in the right place and it grows a lot. So people who joined Swiggy in the early days, people who joined any of these Zomato in the early stage and stayed there, probably had a lot better outcomes in terms of financial, even if they were, let's say, junior employees at that time. They just stuck around long enough, kept getting those ESOPs, and those ESOPs multiplied at a certain factor when the companies went public. Those outcomes are probably better than some of the outcomes in public market, because public market the growth will be lesser for mature companies.
Yeah.
So I would say you have to come to your own conclusion on the consensus that you have on the company that you're interviewing for. If you feel strongly that yes, this is a company that it has stable financials, great leadership, great sort of culture, great outcomes coming for it, then you should bet for it. And ESOPs you should factor in as something that might liquidify, but you have to take a longer time frame, because even if the company is in a great position but the market isn't, I don't think they can go public. You still have to wait it out.